we've got a new format. We decided to expand our conversation and create a space where we don't have to squeeze together in front of a computer. Now we can sit freely, gesture comfortably, even swing a sword if we feel like it, and allow ourselves to share all the information we have, both in the room and in the energy around us. So, ready to get started?
Let's begin. Today's topic is a long-awaited one. Man and woman. Activation of wholeness. By the way, back in September, you said we'd be ready to dive into this topic in May. That certain energetic stages would pass, the timing would align, and those who were ready would be able to truly engage with this. So how do you see it now? Is everything on track?
Everything's going according to plan. And even now, it's only those who are truly ready that will be able to hear this, though hearing doesn't necessarily mean they're ready to accept it. Acceptance requires a sufficient level of kindness. The more kindness we have, the less we hold on to resentment. And since everything is built on acceptance, once that's in place, everything else falls into place. You can express love, creativity, growth, and communication. But without acceptance, we hit a wall. And if we do move forward, it's only through hardship, resistance, and tension. So today we're going to set an intention that we all have enough acceptance, that we all have enough alignment, and that from that place, we're inspired to move into love, and that this love grows within us and radiates outward into the world.
I'll say this. Before this meeting, I felt a strong urge to re-listen to the energy forecast for June. And I was honestly surprised at how in sync everything is.
Remind me, I don't even remember now.
I actually didn't want you to listen ahead of time. And I don't want to spend too much time on it right now either. But for those of you who were on that forecast, definitely go back and listen to it again, because it'll be published a little later. We already know that our forecasts always start tuning in about a week ahead of the month. Sometimes they even line up with the zodiac cycles. Anyway, it touches on women, almost exactly what we're discussing here today. So I get the sense that for women, maybe especially because there are more women with us on this live stream, there's going to be a big shift into wholeness. And maybe even a kind of wholeness activated through connection with other women. Like a new layer of the matrix is being woven. That's how I see it. I listened to that forecast a long time ago, maybe not since December, and yet everything is lining up exactly. Inner plans are matching the outer energy. Women are encouraged to travel right now. And I'll just say this for anyone who hasn't heard the forecast or won't have the chance to catch it this week. Take as many trips as you can. The more movement, the more downloads, the more upgrades, the better. Change the scenery, step out of inertia, allow the new energies to integrate in new locations, new interests, new views, new perspectives. So I feel like today we're setting that process in motion, and women will spend the rest of June unpacking it. As for men, they'll be grounding it. Okay, so let's talk about men. Men need to stay physically engaged, focused, working, really grounded. Keep your attention on action, on doing, on fully showing up in the work process, so to speak.
Here's what I want to add. We're going to dive deep today. We're stepping away from flat, binary definitions like black, white, or good, bad. And I'll start with this. Women are born here in masculine energy. Nicole and I were just talking about this earlier. A woman is the inner essence of a man. You see what I mean? A man's inner state. That's a woman. It might still be his mother if he hasn't fully separated from her yet, which we'll get to. But ideally, that separation has already happened. This is a fascinating point, because sometimes when you observe someone else, you suddenly see clearly what you've known deep down for years. So, on one hand, the man is information. The man is insight, inspiration, creativity, action, realization. But his inner world, that's the woman. His laws, worldview, values, priorities, paradigms, beliefs, that's the woman inside him. And here's the paradox. Women are born here in masculine energy, so they're always trying to become more feminine, more sensual, more gentle, more kind, more radiant, because what's driving them from within is masculine power. And men come into this world with feminine energy. Their task is to express, to speak, to bring value outward, to take that inner respect and quality and project it into the world. And they need to act from that place of responsibility. So we get this system, a man and a woman forming a balance. The woman on the inside is in masculine energy, but on the outside, she expresses feminine qualities. The man inside is in feminine energy, and his job is to show up in the world with masculine energy. And when a woman is in drive, in curiosity, in spark, in fast shifting energy, and she feels purpose, that becomes the man's inner state, and it helps him realize himself. At the same time, when a man accepts his woman and creates a life in service to her, meaning in service to his own inner truth, that's when he grows to his fullest. So here's the deal. Women want stability, but to get that stability, they have to grow. Men want growth, but to grow they need to build stability and safety for their women. Then growth becomes possible. And because the man expresses outward qualities, he's action and realization. His main focus is on achieving results and materializing outcomes. The woman, meanwhile, is responsible for comfort, for balance, and for this new word we're using instead of harmony, multi-dimensional unity.
That's a whole separate topic on its own.
At the same time, the woman is the one responsible for values. Because when a man tries to fulfill himself without a woman, he often loses his sense of purpose. He just becomes a function. But when a woman is present, he gains clarity and meaning, because now there's an inner state he can create from, something deeper to build his world around. And when we were talking about the June forecast, it became clear that for a woman to have stability, she has to stay active. Because if she stands still in the name of stability, all her systems start to shut down. Everything starts to rust. So really, the woman is humor, lightness, softness, charm, quick shifts, and high flexibility. She may be all about stability, but she's not rigid. It's never only this way and no other. Even the way her brain works is completely different. A woman can handle multiple threads at once and still stay grounded in her reality. Men are more focused on singular achievement. So in a way, women are the embodiment of the matrix and the earth itself. Men, on the other hand, are more aligned with other civilizations. And when Nicole and I were discussing this earlier today, we talked about why men are information. It's because they draw energy from other dimensions, from other civilizational systems, where the principles and energetics are totally different. They bring that energy here, almost like a radio signal, translating it into information. Then they attune to a woman, and if she gives her internal yes, he can upload that information and materialize it in a different form with different energy and structure. So a man can hold enormous amounts of energy, which in those other dimensions is matter. But in order to bring it here, he has to first convert it into vibration, into flow, into information, and then materialize it, but with new qualities, because those other dimensions, quite literally, have different definitions of matter and form. And when that information comes here, it manifests in new ways because the environment is new. To put it super simply, those higher dimensions have no clue how something will show up in this dimension. It's like we used to be one chemical substance in one environment. And then we enter a completely different one, interacting with this new substance, both informationally and physically. And through that interaction, a third substance is formed. And that's essentially what everything here is about. So today we're going to talk a lot about these paradoxes, like how a man can be both fragile and firm. A woman, on the other hand, might be be like flint on the inside, but outside she has to be flexible and soft. Otherwise, she won't be able to act as the conduit. She won't be able to adapt the energy that's coming through the man and ground it into the matrix, into this planet. Nicole and I are going to share from our own experience and also from what we've received as feedback from a lot of people. We're not going to overwhelm you with examples. We'll just go straight to the conclusions we've come to. And one of those conclusions, and I'm going to jump right into it, is that the idea of one person being a phlegmatic and the other being a choleric, and that this somehow balances them out, it's a myth. It doesn't work like that. The speed has to be the same. You can't have one partner making decisions while the other takes years to act. The first one's either going to lose it or die of boredom. And when we were talking about relationships, we hit on some powerful points, even a bit confrontational, about what truly matters. First, the willingness to lose the relationship. Second, great intimacy, meaning deep closeness and a shared frequency of perception. You need alignment, resonance. And third, shared interests, values, and speed of processing reality. Because if you're not both responding quickly to the changes in the world around you, you'll miss the turn. Even if your inner GPS is saying, turn left, you'll turn left 10 minutes later. And by then, the moment's already passed. Here's the thing. The woman is the one steering the man, but the man is the one bringing in the newness that allows the world to evolve. It's kind of a paradox, like total abracadabra. Women came into this life with masculine energy, and their path is to embody feminine energy, to find balance. Men came in with feminine energy, and their path is to step fully into their masculine. But if a man becomes too soft, too accommodating, too passive, too tolerant, too adaptive, his energy channels shut down. He starts operating at a low frequency, and it's a sad sight. At the same time, when a woman pulls out her metaphorical sword, she begins to embody energy that's more aligned with masculine form and function. And if she keeps moving in that direction, business, leadership, management, law, creativity, analysis, systems thinking, it leads to massive hormonal shifts that won't bring anything good in the long run. And I'm not even talking about the collapse of sexual energy or the physical problems that follow. And the point is, both women and men need to keep growing. But sometimes women interpret this too literally and say, well, I'll just have kids, cook, and take care of the house now. And that's it. The man might start pulling away.
And depression might already be creeping in.
For both of them. One hides in the household, in the kids, draining their energy and limiting their freedom. The other, the man, he might physically shut down, go broke, lose motivation, sink into suicidal thoughts. Not to mention, he might end up looking for luck somewhere else when a woman is in that kind of state.
So, are bad men really just a reflection of women being overly accomplished?
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. We're stuck in this dilemma and we need to look at the whole picture. One extreme isn't good and the other isn't good either. Take other examples. In politics, the far right is bad, the far left is bad. In life, obesity is unhealthy, but so is anorexia. So the goal is balance, the middle ground. And the only way we can hold that balance is through genuine connection between men and women. It has to involve touch and shared interests. And since we're here to talk about growth, let's be clear, growth always involves honesty, openness, and yes, a huge amount of vulnerability. Because none of us are perfect. Most of us actually lack the two key things we talked about earlier, acceptance and alignment. So what's good about acceptance? It gives you the ability not to take offense. And what's good about alignment? It helps you not to feel jealous. So when you have acceptance, it means there's enough kindness in you. And when there's alignment, there's a strong interest and a drive toward growth.
So basically, you can tell if you've got acceptance toward a situation or your partner by whether or not you take offense at them, right?
Let me explain.
I mean, is that what shows the level of acceptance and alignment?
Look, we know that everything around us is basically a reflection of parts of ourselves that we've disconnected from. That's really your topic, actually. But yes, we need to understand that whenever someone or something shows up in our lives, it's like a cry from the subconscious. It's your deeper self saying, oh, hey, you're stuck here. We need to work on this. You had dreams, gut feelings, intuitive nudges, but you didn't listen. So now your subconscious literally hired this person or created this situation to make the point clear. It's showing you where you need to evolve. For example, when someone lacks acceptance, it really just means they're low on kindness. And if they're low on kindness, they tend to take everything personally. They feel constantly offended. But it's not that your desires are wrong. It just means you're missing the acceptance that would allow those desires to flow. But acceptance doesn't mean suppression or tolerance. Tolerance is the worst thing. If people say we're still together because we tolerate each other, that's one of the worst things that can happen. Because tolerance isn't love, it's stagnation. We're vibing, we enjoy each other, but we also get that growth always comes with conflict. It's the clash between the old and the new, and that only really happens when our relationships between a man and a woman are missing openness, honesty, sincerity, and genuine interest.